Okay, Hamilton, when you started talking about your dad's bar, or your family bar, was it family bar? I was the guy, when older brother Pat, 2 years ahead, I was the guy recruiting him. And I'm not saying, back in the day, the rules were a little different recruiting. And I'm not saying that we signed in that bar, but hypothetically, that could have happened in Emmitsburg. But I'm going to here to introduce Kirk Myers. Kirk Myers was a great big guy. And I want to say this because coaches in here and young people in here, he's got a great story because this guy was a three-sport athlete in high school, third in the state in the discus, center on the football team, long snapper. Didn't wrestle varsity all the way through at Algona until his senior year in high school. Anymore, we don't have, some kids just don't do it if they can't make it before that. Didn't start until his senior year in high school, but then that year wins the state championship, goes undefeated, goes to Northern Iowa. Briggsy's here. I know Don Briggs and Chuck Patton scooped him up at Northern Iowa. And his true freshman year wins the Division II National Championship, is in the semifinals of the Division I National Championship, becomes a Division I All-American as a true freshman. Ends up going on to be a three-time Division II National Champion, a three-time Division I All-American. And I'm telling you, at that time, just in our state, Pete Bush at Iowa, Mike Mann at Iowa State, Bill Shear at Nebraska. That's some of the guys I've seen him wrestle. And, but it's a testament to sometimes we get, sometimes we got young people that they don't get to their peak, they don't get to their full potential until a little bit later. Hang on, keep working. All right? And I love that story of Kirk Myers. And Kurt was a pinner, 21 pins in a senior season. I know that was a record for a while in Northern Iowa. 61 falls in his career. And one of those guys that you definitely wanted to come and watch because you knew he was going to be going after the pin, or he wasn't satisfied. You didn't see a boring match for a big guy. So you were always there making sure that you wanted to see his match. But lives in Las Vegas right now, but it's great to see you back. And congratulations on 128 Iowa Hall of Famer, Kirk Myers.
First off, I don't talk publicly a lot, so I'll try to keep it short. Also, I have to go to the restroom, but drink a lot of water. I'd like to congratulate Mr. Zaleski, Lenny, and Steve, and Shane, also on your induction. I'd like to thank the selection board. I had a call from Bill Boy, Jim here, and Mr. Roth last fall, and said, well, we're thinking about putting you in the Cresco Wrestling Hall of Fame. What do you think about that? I said, wow, that'd be a great honor. That's awesome. You sure you can make it back? Because for a while, I had a little bit of financial deal that I went through. And finally got that corrected, saved up a little bit of money, and said, I'll definitely be back here. So it's a pretty big honor. Started out my wrestling career. My older brother, Wayne, wrestled in the 6th grade wrestling tournament in Algona, and he lost in the finals, and he was all upset, and I was all really mad. It's like, I'm going to go out for wrestling, I'm going to win the Algona tournament. It was a big story that back in the day that Dave Martin, Paul Martin, Clint Young, Keith Young, Steve Hunt, Dwayne Hunt, lots of I think Larry Munger was from Algona, right? Lots of storied people that wrestled and did well internationally, nationally, and statewide. Started out in grade school. Fritz Nielsen, which is father of Randy Nielsen, that was an Iowa State wrestler, was our grade school coach. And I think Arlen Barinwall, which was also the track coach, was helping out with wrestling. He didn't really know a lot about wrestling, but he liked helping the kids, so I thought it was kind of funny. He was trying to show his moves that he didn't really know what he was doing. But very lucky to get around. My mom and father, mother and father, used to take me over to Grit. It was a whole 20 miles. It seemed like it was like a years and years drive away to go wrestle on the annual Grit wrestling tournament. And I was always listening to these little cook boys. And they did fairly well in the lighter weights, but I started growing. When I got into high school, I wrestled 126 pounds, 128 pounds. I think I weighed 128 and I got 2 pounds to get down to 126. And that was the last year. I started growing pretty fast. I wrestled 138 the next year. Beat out some seniors, made varsity, wrestled about a month, and I started growing. And I couldn't make the weight anymore, so I had to go up about 2 weight classes. Wrestled junior varsity. Next year, same thing happened. Started out, cut down to 155. Halfway through the year, couldn't make weight. I was growing too much. I went from 128 pounds and like 5'6" to about, I think I was about 205 pounds, and I was about 6'1" by the time I was a junior. Grew fairly fast, so I ended up wrestling heavyweight like my junior year. And senior year, I came in and they said, all right, we're starting out at heavyweight. If you can cut down to 185, then we'll let you wrestle 185. So I wrestled like the first half of the season at heavyweight, cut down to 185. And after that, I kind of quit growing. I never really had a problem making weight after that. But I'd like to recognize some people that are in the crowd. We need Mr. Briggs back in the back. Assistant coach helped me out an awful lot. He's always there. Wrestling mat, which is great. Well, I guess you can hear me better. Sorry, I wasn't holding the card. Mr. Will Keeker, he was my assistant coach for a couple years at Oklahoma. Mr. Butler, that couldn't be here today. He was another Iowa State guy. Lowell wrestled for Wartburg and is in the Wartburg Wrestling Hall of Fame over there. My sister and her husband Steve Gronbach. His cousin was a big wrestler at Algona, got second in state. Did really well. I always looked up to him. He was a really nice guy. He was mean and tough. And I have 4 brothers and 1 sister. I kind of felt sorry for my sister growing up because we were always picking on her. We'd fight with each other like crazy. And I guess what Steve was talking about, toughness. Our family used to fight all the time, brothers. You get along, and that kind of like toughened me up quite a bit. Saw my mom going through working at Snap-on Tools. She also worked for a Universal remanufacturing plant. She used to rebuild starters, Ford generators, alternators, stuff like that. Very strong work ethic. Can't talk. But she instilled a real strong work ethic in me and my brothers and my sister. I'd like to thank a bunch of the guys in the back. There's a bunch of UNI wrestlers in the back sitting there. Ken Gallagher, one of my teammates. Scott Morningstar up here, another teammate. Keith Woolman. Tom Cornelli is in the back. They're close to the bar, that's why they sat back there. But I don't have much else to say. I didn't prepare a lot. I just wanted to thank everybody, and it's a very big honor being up here with all these gentlemen. I really appreciate it. Thank you.